GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening. Tonight we'll break down the police removal of a high-powered surveillance camera, look ahead to the new port expansion in Contrecoeur, and note today's minor traffic delays. Plus, a fresh plant-based cafe is opening in Mile End. Over to you, Emma.
This Saturday, the rooftop stand-up comedy show returns to the Terrasse du Via Montreal, kicking off at 7:30, featuring 3 emerging Quebec comedians.
Tickets are available online for $20, with a limited early bird discount of $15 for purchases before Thursday evening, and seating is on a first-come, first-served basis.
A local food truck will serve poutine and maple glazed donuts during intermission, and a free drink voucher is included with each ticket for the on-site bar.
The rooftop comedy night starts Saturday at 8 p.m. on St. Laurent. Tickets are $20 and the lineup includes 5 local comics. Lots to get to, let's begin. Here are our top stories. Montreal police have removed a high-powered surveillance camera after a Radio Canada report brought its presence to public attention, prompting the department to dismantle the equipment. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
Police crews arrived early this morning at the intersection of St. Laurent and de Bleury, where a large, high-powered surveillance camera had been perched on a municipal pole. The device, installed months ago by city authorities, was capable of zooming across several blocks and had drawn attention after a Radio Canada investigation spotlighted its presence. Within hours of the broadcast, uniformed officers began the careful dismantling process, disconnecting power cables and lowering the unit onto a transport cart. By mid-morning, the camera was fully removed and the pole was left without any visible equipment. No injuries were reported and officials declined to comment on why the camera was initially placed. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, Montreal. Construction has kicked off on the Port of Montreal's expansion in Contrecoeur, marking the first phase of a new container terminal that is expected to start handling cargo around 2030. The project, overseen by the Port of Montreal, aims to boost the facility's throughput capacity as global trade volumes rise. Work crews are already mobilizing heavy equipment along the St. Lawrence shoreline, laying foundations for berths that will accommodate the latest generation of freight vessels. Environmental assessments were completed last year, and mitigation measures include shoreline restoration and noise monitoring to address local concerns. Officials say the added terminal will strengthen the region's logistics network and create jobs throughout the build-out and subsequent operation phases. The timeline targets completion in the early part of 2030, positioning the port to capture a larger share of North American container traffic.
Starting September 5 and running through October 4, a slate of cycling races will crisscross the island, prompting extensive road closures and altered transit routes. Officials warn motorists to expect significant delays on major arteries, including the Jacques Cartier Bridge, the Champlain Crossing, and key downtown corridors. The Société de Transport de Montréal has announced rerouted bus lines and temporary BIXI station adjustments, while commuters are urged to check real-time updates before leaving home. Construction crews will be on hand to install barriers and signage along the planned courses, which weave through the plateau, Mile End, and the downtown core. Residents near the race paths should anticipate parked car restrictions and limited access to side streets. The series of events, part of the city's annual September cycling calendar, aims to showcase local talent but will require patience from drivers and transit riders alike.
2 men were injured after a knife fight erupted in Montreal's St. Mitchell neighborhood late Friday night. Police responded and are investigating the incident. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Police responded to calls of a violent altercation just after midnight on the night of August 13th, turning into the 14th. Officers arrived to find 2 men with knife wounds in the St. Mitchell district. Both victims were taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. Their conditions were described as non-life-threatening. Witnesses said the dispute began as a verbal argument that quickly escalated when one participant brandished a knife. By the time police secured the scene, the assailant had fled, leaving the injured men on the sidewalk. Investigators are reviewing surveillance footage and canvassing the area for additional witnesses. No arrests have been announced at this time. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, St. Mitchell.
Earlier today, officials from Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador announced a new agreement that will lift electricity supplied to Quebec by 40% and expand generation capacity for both provinces. The deal revises the inter-provincial arrangement governing the Churchill Falls Hydro Complex in Labrador, a facility that has traditionally powered Newfoundland and Labrador and exported power to Quebec under older contracts. Under the updated terms, output from the massive water-driven plant will be increased, giving Quebec a significant boost in clean energy while allowing Labrador to tap additional capacity for its own needs. Energy ministers said the arrangement strengthens regional cooperation and supports long-term sustainability goals. Analysts project that the added supply could lower electricity rates for residential customers and provide more reliable power for industrial users across the province. Later, we'll hear how inspectors gained access to a suspected illegal windowless housing building, and what that means for renters. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. City inspectors have secured a court order allowing them to enter a downtown property suspected of housing illegal windowless rentals that city officials say are unsanitary. The building, which has been the focus of a prolonged investigation into substandard housing, will be inspected today under the authority of the City of Montreal. A lawyer who previously denied entry argued the tenants' privacy, but the court ruled the health and safety concerns outweigh that objection. This move follows a citywide crackdown on illegal rental units, as officials tighten enforcement to protect residents from unsafe living conditions. Inspectors plan to document the interior, check for required ventilation, and verify compliance with municipal housing standards. Findings will be reported to the mayor's office and could lead to penalties or eviction orders if violations are confirmed.
Collège de Maisonneuve students can now engage in brief conversations with senior volunteers for a symbolic fee of 25 cents, fostering intergenerational dialogue on campus. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Students at Collège de Maisonneuve are stepping into a modestly priced conversation lounge, where they can sit down with a senior volunteer and trade stories for just 25 cents. The fee is purely symbolic, meant to give the exchange a sense of value while keeping it accessible. Participants can listen to lifelong memories, ask about past eras, and share their own experiences in a relaxed setting. Organizers say the modest charge helps cover basic supplies and encourages genuine engagement, but the heart of the program is simply bringing two generations together for a brief, personal dialogue. The initiative runs during regular campus hours, inviting any student who wants a quick, intergenerational chat. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Maisonneuve.
Police services across Quebec have stepped up the use of computer-generated images in their social media posts, adding to a rapid rise in artificial intelligence visuals online. Officials say the practice began earlier this year as agencies explored new ways to illustrate alerts, missing person notices, and public safety messages. The images, produced by algorithms that synthesize realistic scenes, are posted on platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram without clear labeling that they are synthetic. Critics warn the growing volume could blur the line between authentic police footage and fabricated content, while the services argue the graphics help convey information quickly and reach younger audiences. The Provincial Police Association confirmed the trend is expanding, and a spokesperson noted training is underway to ensure accuracy and ethical use as the digital landscape evolves.
Yesterday, the Quebec government announced the start of a 12-month pilot at the Roberval Detention Centre, requiring every inmate to wear a standard uniform. Officials say the measure is designed to curb the flow of contraband into correctional facilities, a problem that has plagued the province's prisons in recent years. The uniform policy will be enforced across all housing units at the centre in the Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean region, with staff monitoring compliance through regular inspections. Prison authorities hope the visible barrier will make it harder for smuggled items to be concealed on persons or in clothing. The pilot will be evaluated after 1 year, and if results are positive, the government may consider expanding the approach to other institutions. The initiative reflects a broader push by Quebec to tighten security and protect the safety of both inmates and correctional staff.
The Réseau Express Métropolitain has launched its first low-speed automated test trains on the future airport branch, marking a key step toward completing the line to Montreal Trudeau by 2027. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Automated low-speed test trains are now rolling along the future REM corridor that will link downtown Montreal to the Trudeau Airport. The trial began this week, the week of August 13, 2026, on the dedicated tracks slated for the airport branch. Engineers are monitoring performance as the system runs without a driver, a key step toward finishing the airport segment by the close of 2027. The REM, a citywide rapid transit network under construction, is adding this branch as its next major expansion, aiming to provide a direct, frequent link between the city and the international gateway. The tests run alongside ongoing work on stations and signaling as the line moves toward full service. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Dorval.
Now let's get a look at tonight's forecast for you with our meteorologist.
A strengthening northwest, jet over a rising high is locking in dry, stable air across the metro. On this date, Montreal's all-time heat mark sits at 30.1 degrees, set in 2024 during an early summer heat wave that pushed daily highs into the low 30s for a week. The cold record is 12 degrees, recorded in 2014 when a polar air mass slipped south behind a stalled front, plunging nighttime temperatures. By contrast, today's climatological normals hover around 24 degrees for the high and 15 for the low, illustrating how today sits comfortably between those extremes. The live radar shows a blank canvas across the province, no precipitation echoes moving eastward. With the jet stream carving a straight line from the northwest at 84 kilometers per hour, the airstream remains dry and the high-pressure ridge is pushing aloft. That means no rain will touch the city tonight, and the clouds will thin after midnight as the stable air drains out. I now turn to tonight's outlook. At 6 p.m., the sky hangs over the island in a thick layer of clouds, temperature 23 degrees, humidity 46%, wind 13 kilometers per hour from the west, with gusts reaching 25. Pressure is a near-average high that is slowly rising, sealing in the drier air that the northwest jet is ushering aloft. With the jet maintaining its 84 kilometer per hour speed, any lingering moisture will be sliced apart, keeping precipitation at bay. The UV index sits at 5, wind will drop to 12 kilometers per hour from the northwest as the night deepens, and no alerts are active. Expect the clouds to linger until after midnight, then a gradual clearing as the ridge strengthens. Looking ahead, Saturday will stay under a persistent overcast with a high of 21 and a low of 14, no rain in sight. Sunday brings another cloud deck, but the models inject a 45% chance of showers, pushing the high to 23 while the low holds at 14. Monday eases the moisture, offering mainly clear skies, a high of 24 and a low of 17, yet a 40% rain probability lingers in the morning. Tuesday clears completely, delivering a bright day at 25 degrees high and 17 low. Wednesday reintroduces the jet's waviness, drawing a 60% rain window and raising the high to 27 with a low of 19. The pattern swings from dry midweek to a wet finish, demanding flexible plans. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll check minor traffic delays, preview the rooftop comedy show and One Love tribute, plus a look at Greenleaf Cafe. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. An obstruction on Rue Saint-Hubert, between Boulevard de Maisonneuve Est and Rue Ontario Est, is causing moderate delays in the Ville-Marie Corps. Drivers are seeing queues build up near the intersection, and police have advised using alternate routes such as Rue Sherbrooke or Rue Saint-Laurent. Further east, Rue de Saint just is closed to traffic at Avenue Dubuisson and Rue Tellier. That forces detours onto Rue de la Commune and Boulevard Saint-Laurent, adding roughly 10 minutes to trips through Mercier-Hochelaga Maisonneuve. Avenue Henry Miro is also shut at its junction with Avenue de Repentigny. Motorists should divert onto Rue Viaud or Boulevard des Galeries, where traffic remains flowing. Construction around the Bibliothèque de la Petite Patrie and the Maison de la Culture keeps those streets blocked, but the surrounding avenues are clear. No transit disruptions have been reported, so subway and bus lines are running on schedule this afternoon.
Barbra Streisand takes the stage tonight at the Cabaret du Casino, delivering her Songbird concert, a rare chance to hear the legend live in Montreal, and a perfect evening for a date or a night out with friends. Across town, the iconic Pink Floyd will perform their entire Dark Side of the Moon at Le Dome in Brossard, a full album experience that transports you back to the 70s and promises an immersive soundscape you won't want to miss. If you're looking for laughs, head to Musique on St. Laurent for the rooftop stand-up comedy show, part of the Montreal Comedy Festival, where fresh voices deliver punchlines under the city lights, ideal for a relaxed Friday night. And keep an eye on the calendar. Tomorrow the Lasso Festival kicks off at Parc Jean Drapeau, a country music hoedown featuring Thomas Rhett and Mumford & Sons, a must-see for any music lover. That's what's happening in Montreal today. And now here's Jason with sports.
Draft insights, honors, and roster moves shape the Canadiens' summer outlook. Timofey Runso lands at 21 on the Canadiens' top 25 under 25 list, a product of the aggressive second-round trade-up the club executed in the 2026 draft. His ranking signals Montreal's commitment to addressing specific positional needs with higher ceiling prospects rather than chasing flash. Juraj Slavkovsky becomes the first honorary citizen of Budimir and captures his fourth Slovak Hockey Player of the Year award, cementing his rising international profile. The accolades arrive as the Habs head into a make-or-break training camp, where veterans Danault and Bolduc voice confidence in the roster's direction. The Canadiens ink forward Sasha Pastujov to a one-year, two-way deal after acquiring him from the Anaheim Ducks. The contract adds depth to Montreal's forward pool for the 2027 season, giving the club flexibility to shuffle him between the NHL and AHL as needed. Power forward Hayden Popinkies ranks 22 on the top 25 under 25 list, reflecting Montreal's draft strategy of blending size with skill. The 6'5" center spent the 2025-26 season with the Kelowna Rockets, positioning him as a potential physical presence in the Habs' future blue line. General manager Kent Hughes signals he could still be active in the trade market through September or October, hunting for the right partner to fine-tune the roster. Even without a deal, the front office can look back with confidence given the team's current shape. Sasha Pastujov appears at 23 on the Canadiens' top 25 under 25 list, underscoring the organization's emphasis on younger talent from the U.S. National Team Development Program. His arrival follows the trade of Sean Farrell to Anaheim, highlighting a shift toward fresh, high-upside assets. Stay tuned as the Habs shape their roster for the upcoming season.
Thanks, Jason. Greenleaf Cafe in Mile End has just opened its doors, bringing a fresh, fully plant-based menu to the neighborhood. On August 13, 2026, the new vegan eatery welcomed its first guests with dishes that celebrate local produce and sustainable cooking. Owner Chef Aisha Karim says the cafe aims to meet the growing demand for eco-friendly dining while creating jobs for Montreal youth. The space, with its reclaimed wood tables and community board, quickly became a gathering spot for cyclists, artists, and families seeking wholesome meals. It's more than a restaurant. It's a reminder that Montreal's culinary spirit thrives when we choose kindness for the planet and each other. Neighbors have already praised the cozy vibe, and the cafe plans weekly workshops on plant-based cooking. Stay tuned as we reveal the police arrest of a 17-year-old after a downtown stabbing, a story that's shaking the city.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Montreal police have arrested a 17-year-old suspect in the downtown stabbing of a 16-year-old boy that occurred on August 12, 2026. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Police say a 17-year-old was taken into custody Tuesday night after a stabbing in Montreal's downtown core left a 16-year-old boy injured. Officers arrived at the scene around midnight on St. Catherine Street, where witnesses reported hearing a sudden commotion and seeing a young man flee. Emergency crews treated the victim on site before he was transported to a nearby hospital. Detectives questioned several bystanders and reviewed surveillance footage, which led them to the suspect later that evening. The teen was held at the station while investigators continue to piece together what prompted the attack. No further arrests have been made. Police say the investigation remains ongoing as they review the evidence. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Ville-Marie.
Montreal welcomed a record-high influx of visitors from May through July 2026, spurred by business meetings, major sporting competitions, and a slate of festivals. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
From the bustling streets near the Jacques Cartier Bridge, the city is counting a surge of visitors this summer. Between May and July, Montreal logged its highest-ever tourist arrivals, officials say, as business delegations, international sports tournaments, and a string of music and cultural festivals filled hotels and venues. Convention centers reported packed meeting rooms, while arenas hosted matches that drew fans from across North America. Outdoor stages and street fairs kept crowds moving from the Latin Quarter to the waterfront, extending the usual summer peak. Tourism Montreal projects the total for these 3 months to top previous records, confirming the city's reputation as a springboard for commerce and entertainment. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunset. Tonight's look at the police removal of that high-powered surveillance camera reminded us how quickly our city can respond to community concerns. I'm Mark Beaumont. Tune in tomorrow for more stories that matter to our neighborhoods.